Another edition of Luke and I on the Phillies coming your way. And a good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's January. That's all right. No rest for the wicked over here on this show. Luke Arcaini covers all things Phillies and MLB for us on The Gambler. I am Sean Brace. A lot to get to. Luke, how we been, sir?
Good, good. We got a lot to talk about. We got some questions to answer tonight, but finally
Yes.
getting back here into the new season. We got I think it's 27 days until the first official workout for the Phillies. And then I believe it's 70 until opening day. So we're getting there.
Wow.
A few months, under a month till the first workout. We're
Opening
getting
day
there.
at our ballpark, right? Correct.
Opening day at
opening
our
day.
ballpark, March 28th. I believe it's 3:30 against the Atlanta Braves. We open up this year against the Braves,
What?
which is
I don't think
nice.
I knew
Unlike last year having to go to Texas and play the Rangers on opening day, who turned out to at the time it was funny because I bet you probably remember all these big like high hopes for last season, and we opened up last season. We actually got swept by the Rangers opening weekend, and everyone
I
was like,
remember we
"This
went
Ranger."
up. We were up in the first
We
couple
were
innings, and then
we were up
Texas comes back.
we were up 5-0 or 6-0, and we lost, and I think we lost 10-6. And we ended up getting swept by a team who we thought was horrible, and they ended up winning the World Series. So I guess that doesn't look as bad. But yeah,
I think in
that was
that game one, I'm pretty sure if you go back and check my timeline, I tweeted something along the lines of like, "This
season's
team
over.
still got it." Like we are no, the opposite. When they were up, I'm like, "This team is special. They're going right back to the World Series," and they lost that game.
Oh, dude, the amount of bets I had so many bets in opening day, and all of them had money line on them. And I swear, I think I hit every player prop in every single parlay. And it's just the money line tanked everything. It was a brutal start. Bad start to the year.
Yeah, bad start to year. Hopefully we're a little bit better there. As always, any questions, comments, concerns, let us know your thoughts. We are a show for the people, so don't hold back. And I got some questions for Luke, and there's been some great questions as far as the mailbag. A lot of people checking in, including our own gambler personalities and communities. So looking forward to get into this. I want to start with this though, Luke, because so we recorded like last week or maybe the week before that, but it was a couple days ago, probably like 10 days ago. And last week I'm driving into work and I'm listening to the MLB Network, and oh man, is Ryan Spilborn? Is that who it was? I forget who the exact hosts were. There was two of them, and they said point blank, the Phillies get Blake Snell. It's the best rotation in baseball, bar none.
Yeah,
They like them in front of everybody.
Well,
I mean, this is the bias for like, again, we're very fair, but we have a little bias for the Phillies. They were waxing poetic. So I guess what my question would be is, why not? Like, dude, if that's the case, if it's that much of a slam dunk for insiders, people that cover, and yeah, I think you get the Cy Young Award winner in the rotation for the Phillies, of course. But man, to say that they're the best rotation in baseball, do it. You know, why not? What's holding them back? Give me the percentages. Is there a realistic possibility? And if not, who will land Blake Snell services?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think Blake Snell's coming here. I think it was kind of just a thought that the Phillies are sort of always in the market for a pitcher. It seems like every offseason, no matter who they have, it seems like they're kind of always bidding for a pitcher. So we saw the other night that the Yankees got Marcus Stroman. Does that necessarily mean the Yankees are out on Blake Snell? No, but I would find it hard to believe that the Yankees are going to take on Juan Soto, Blake Snell, and Marcus Stroman, along with contracts like Aaron Judge heading into this new season. So I don't necessarily think Blake Snell will go there either. It's kind of unlikely. Like, we don't really know the deal right now with Snell. There's been some teams thrown around. The Blue Jays have kind of been a name that has been whispered around who honestly really need a starter. The Phillies, I feel like I kind of said earlier, they're always in the market for a starter. Would it make this rotation which right now I think is probably a top 5 rotation in baseball, the Phillies. But if the Phillies added Blake Snell to their rotation right now, they would undoubtedly be the best rotation in the entire MLB.
What if Shohei Ohtani was healthy enough to pitch? Would they be in front of the Dodgers in your mind?
Yeah, it depends. I think that's kind of a 1A, 1B with a slight edge to the Dodgers just because of Ohtani being their number one. At that point, you kind of have to compare number one to number one once you get to a rotation that has really good starters in that 1 to 4 slot. And I love Zach Wheeler, but I would take Ohtani's arm over Zach Wheeler's arm, right, when it's fully healthy. So I think if Ohtani was fully healthy, I think that would get the lean to the Dodgers, but obviously he's not. So I think if the Phillies did really want to go all in on this pitching rotation right now, I think Blake Snell is kind of their obvious guy. What scares me right now about Blake Snell is how many years these teams want to give him. I don't really want to give Snell any more than like 3 years. His walks really scare me. And I think walks is something in baseball that only gets worse as you go deeper into your career. You never really limit your walks the older you get. Those usually go up. So for Snell, a guy who will strike out 240 batters a year, he's also walking close to the league lead right now. So a 2-year deal for Blake Snell to come in here and then re-sign Wheeler in this spring and have a rotation for the next 2 years of Wheeler, Snell, Nola, Ranger to try and win in this window right now, then yeah, I'm all in. But if you're throwing an 8-year, $260 million contract at Blake Snell, I'm a little hesitant on that one.
Understood. Yeah, well, look, the Dodgers are definitely the bar. The fact that they got Walker Buehler coming off return, and they signed the 2 studs this season. Of course, Glass now. And who knows if Kershaw comes back, if that door's open, if you're Clayton Kershaw, how do you not take it? Do you expect to see him back this year?
I think so. Yeah, he's just kind of a guy that's going to hang around for a while. I think. I don't really think he's that impactful anymore. I mean, he's still Clayton Kershaw. He'll still go out and don't get guys out, and he'll have a few starts here and there. We'll go 8 innings with 9 strikeouts.
Just don't start him in October.
Just don't start him in October because he is like historically bad once you get to the playoffs.
He's like Mike McCarthy in January.
He's like Justin Verlander in the World Series. But we don't got to get there at them. But yeah,
Hey,
I think you'd probably see Kershaw, but I don't really think he's some big number 1 starter anymore.
Couple comments coming in. Ryan Wachter, hardly knew her. Go Lukey Pookie. What's up? Right on. And then we got a question coming in for Connor. Hey, who would you rather have, Snell or Montgomery, considering contract for Gumpy is cheaper? I like Gumpy better right now, but could be biased from the postseason. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, if you gave the same 2 guys the same exact contract, I would probably take Blake Snell's pitching ability. But once again, I feel like Blake Snell's kind of going to be leaning to a longer contract. And while Jordan Montgomery looked really good in the playoffs, I think if you threw Blake Snell into that Rangers rotation, I think he would have been just as good, maybe even not better. So if I had to pick between the 2 guys on the same exact contract right now, I would definitely lean Blake Snell. But if you're talking about a 3 to 4 year deal for Montgomery compared to a 7-year deal for Snell, then I would definitely lean Montgomery there.
All right, good question. We appreciate that, Connor. Keep them coming in, guys and girls. We will definitely get to those. Got a couple questions that I want to get into, but of course, the free agency with MLB season right around the corner. Is there anybody else that's at the top of your list that, not specifically for the Phillies, but looking forward to that last piece being added? Is there a player that you think could be a difference, especially in the early part of the season? Anybody else of interest in the free agency market still, as far as MLB is concerned?
Yeah, so I mean, the big names right now, big one today was the Astros are pretty interested in Josh Hader, who is seemingly the best reliever left, and was basically the best reliever that was a free agent this offseason. Big time closer, lefty. Basically, if you need a closer, you want Josh Hader. That's kind of the guy you want. Josh Hader had a little bit of a sort of an attitude-ish problem last year. He was kind of saying, well, I'm really just a ninth inning guy. He was kind of closing down these eighth inning roles, which kind of sparked a little bit from some teams there. But if you can get Hader for the right price, I think every team in Major League Baseball is going to take that. So it is a very Astros move in a year where is a bad year for the Astros going all the way to the ALCS. Is a bad year for that franchise. They're just going to come back and they're just going to get the best reliever in all of baseball. As they're probably losing one of the better ones from last year in Hector Neris, who has hit the free agent market, is rumored to want close to 3 years, up to $50-ish million. He's earned it. He had an ERA under 2 last season. He was fantastic the 2 years that he was in Houston. So while the Astros are losing a guy in Neris, most likely, unless he does go back there, which it doesn't seem like he's going to, it seems like they are going to get Josh Hader, or at least they are the top organization for him.
Okay. Well, it's a good look in at 2024 as far as free agents are concerned. I have an article in front of me of the 2025 free agencies. Yeah, how about that?
How's that class? I feel like it's a pretty good one.
First of all, it's the too early 2025 MLB free agency rankings. But so what do we know about the Yankees? Juan Soto, of course, if he doesn't re-sign with them and he's a free agent, he's going to be the top of the list. He's 26, 27, whatever he is at that point in time. Dude, I don't know. Yeah, if he continues on this path, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be playing forever.
Wow, this class is horrible.
Juan Soto 1, Alex Bregman 2.
Yeah, this is a really bad class.
Corbin Burns 3.
This is really bad.
Zach Wheeler 4. Altuve 5. Kim from the Padres 6. Pete Alonso. I thought he was a free agent this year.
Nah, yeah, he went to like last year of like arbitration type of thing.
Gotcha.
They kind of brought him back, but I don't know. There's been rumors about them trading him too. I don't know what the Mets are doing right now. They're going from that leaked Max Scherzer thing of them taking a year off and rebuilding for 2025 to apparently being in on guys like Robert Stevenson. I don't really know what the Mets plan is right now. They're kind of all over the place. Which is fine for me. All right, that works for us as Phillies fans, but I don't really know what the deal is there. I know we got another question that came in here. Emmanuel Clase, name thrown around a bit in the trade market. A haul would be big for Emmanuel Clase.
It's in Cleveland, correct?
Yeah, Cleveland, just disgusting closer. He threw 77 games in 2022 and 75 games in 2023. 86 saves in the last 2 years. He had a 1.36 ERA in 72 innings in 2022. He's been gross the last
25
years.
too.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 1.29 in 2021. He had a 1.36 in 2022, and he had a 3.22 last year. He's been if you finish top 5 in Rookie of the Year as a closer, that you gotta be really good. A haul would be really big. Something like a Justin Crawford, Mick Abel, and probably a few more pieces. That's going to be a big one. I mean, he's a top probably 3 reliever in the entire MLB, who is under contract still, so it wouldn't be a free agent signing. That would take a big haul. I don't exactly know when his contract is up. I would have to believe it's soon. Let me see. But I mean, he signed a 5-year. Wow, they have him on an unbelievable contract. He signed a 5-year, $20 million contract back before 2022, I believe. So I mean, they're giving this guy like $2.5 million a year right now to be like a top 3 reliever in the entire sport. You'd have to be out of your mind if you were the Guardians to trade him. And honestly, I think the chances are so low for the Phillies just because of what other teams would have to offer. If you get a team like the Cubs, who have these really insane farm systems, or the Orioles, any of these teams are going to be able to offer a way better package than we would ever be able to offer. So I mean, I would love Class A, but I don't really think there's honestly got any chance of that happening. I think it would take a big haul. And while we do have it now with some minor leaguers that the Phillies are getting, our farm system's getting a lot better than it was, say, 4 years ago.
Agreed.
It went from probably bottom 5 in the MLB to around top 15, which is big progression there. So if the Phillies, if that chance came around, I would hope they would be all over it, but I don't think they really have the guys that compete with the big farm systems.
All right. Good question there. Once again, Connor checking. He says, yeah, the contract is insanely cheap,
Yeah,
and that's because it's a cheap
not.
organization with a new head coach this year, a new manager. So I think they got to give him all the support they possibly can up to there. And Cleveland surprised some people over the years. So
I would be pissed if I was a brand new manager and I came in and they traded basically my best player, like other than Jose Ramirez, right? It's basically the best guy on the Guardians.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the mailbag. Keep the questions coming in, and next mailbag, we got to go ahead and write the names down who asked these questions. That's a bad job by us, but that's okay. We'll work on that. It's spring training for us as well.
It is. The off season.
This question came from Joey. I don't know. We'll just throw that out there. Joe from Bucks County wants to know, hey, man, is there any outfield targets that are standing out right now? Do you trust Johan Rojas to hold down an everyday starting role starting in March? Luke Arcaini?
Outfield's tough right now. I've thrown around Adam Duvall a lot. That's kind of been a guy that I've really been in on, but it seems like the Red Sox, and I believe, who was the other team? There was just a report earlier that came out from, I believe, John Heyman. Yeah, the Red Sox and Angels are kind of bidding for Adam Duvall right now. Two basically extremely mid baseball teams, kind of going after just a bat that they hope can have some pop for them. So I mean, my big target was kind of Adam Duvall. Jorge Soler has been a name for me that really hits bombs, but he's more of a DH than he is an outfielder. And if you had to put him in the outfield, he would usually play right and not really left. And right now the Phillies are kind of looking what seems like a left fielder. I think they would like to keep Castellanos in right if they could. If an opportunity came along and they signed a guy that only plays right field, I think Nick Castellanos could definitely make the move to left field. But I think their ideal situation right now is to try and find a left fielder. So there's been guys like Bellinger who really are a center fielder, but they can play the corners. If you can play center, you can play the corners, which is vice versa is not the case. Nick Castellanos could not play center field. Kyle Schwarber could not play center field. But like we saw last year, Rojas, Marsh, those guys can go in the left, right if they need to. So Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall, Hernandez went to the Dodgers. He was kind of a top target. Bellinger seems like he's probably going to go back to the Cubs right now. So really those two guys, but it seems like right now the Phillies want Johan Rojas and Brandon Marsh in their outfield on opening day. Whether that's the right move or not, I don't know right now. Rojas is one of the best defenders in all of baseball, but the bat is definitely not 100% there yet. So granted, the center field position in baseball is not a hitting position. So I think if you get the production from the rest of your lineup, you can live with Rojas in that 9 spot. But it seems like from all the reports that have come out that the Phillies, as of right now, at least, are going to open up opening day with Marsh in left, Rojas in center. So they can keep looking around, but I think right now they still are going to lean on the guys that they had last season.
You've been posting a bunch of stuff from Instagram from around the team. I believe Rojas was working out with, wasn't he working out with somebody? Was he
Yeah,
working
he was
out?
working out with JT Realmuto today in the
Thank you.
cages. Both of the never mind, I'm not gonna say it. But I mean that's a good guy for Rojas to work out with. Get some swings in. Rojas has been grinding, man. He's been posting something nearly every day on his Instagram about him either in the cages or out on the field down in Florida. He wants this spot. He's ripped now. There was that big picture that went viral. I think I tweeted it out a few weeks ago. He looks absolutely ripped in the cages right now. So maybe that's going to help. I hope it does, because if you can get maybe say a consistent 265 out of Rojas with 10 home runs and 40 stolen bases, and he plays the defense that he played last year, he's already going to be one of the best guys out there on this team and probably in the league for center field.
All right. Also, Luke dropping the gems, the first official workout, as we said earlier, February 14th, 28 days. We're so close. I love it. So make sure you're following Arcaini Luke on all things socials. And, of course, our show channel at Luke and I Phils. All right, next question up. Biggest sleeper. Let's go team perspective. The biggest sleeper, would we qualify, first of all, last year, the biggest sleeper last year, would we qualify the Baltimore Orioles as the biggest sleeper?
Yeah.
Definitely the biggest underdog.
I would say them or the Texas Rangers, honestly. The Rangers were the Rangers hit their win, or they went over their win total by, I think, 23 wins compared to the
Orioles.
Beginning of the season. The Orioles were up there too. I saw a tweet today of there was an account that posted the comparison in win totals. I'll have to find it. But I believe the Rangers were at the top at around over like 21, 22 games, which is nuts. Right? That's the last team I expected to win the World Series last
Yeah.
year.
Well, that's one. Those are the two. For you, for this year, though, your thoughts on who the biggest sleeper will be this year? Any thoughts on that one? What about the Diamondbacks? The Diamondbacks made it to the damn World Series. Weren't they a sleeper from last year too?
Yeah, definitely. They weren't really predicted to be, I don't think, a World Series team, even a playoff team. I don't think anyone thought the Diamondbacks would even necessarily get in the playoffs. Correct. Considering you had a team like the San Diego Padres, who played a really bad season last year, basically give them that playoff spot. That's kind of what it turned into. So biggest sleeper going into the 2024 season, honestly, I would maybe say is the Tampa Bay Rays. I know they lost some guys, but the Rays are always just a consistently good baseball team. Right now, their World Series odds are at around 35-1 after 99 wins in the regular season last year. So if you want to look at necessarily World Series odds compared to wins last year, that's probably the biggest sleeper to me. Other than that, maybe the Orioles at like 17-1 on that World Series odds from DraftKings there. A team that wins what? How many games did they win last year? 101 games. 101. Having those big of odds to win the World Series, that's definitely a bet that I would be willing to look at. Obviously, they do have to go through the Yankees, who added Juan Soto, Marcus Stroman, and are probably not done. But I know we talked about it last episode. One of my favorite bets, I think, is the Orioles to win the NL East at plus money. The Yankees are a pretty heavy favorite right now. And I think the Orioles still have a good enough team to possibly sneak by them. Until the Yankees show it to me, I'm not ready to crown them this big AL East champ right now, even the American League champ, because they're always going to have to go through the Astros. No matter what the Yankees do in the regular season, off season, anything, once they get to October, the Astros own them every single season. So it's the matter for me of the Yankees proving that. And until they do, I'm going to look at that Orioles number first.
All right. I like that. Yeah, I'm probably right there with you as far as the Orioles. Now, last year I was on the Orioles as far as team total, and that was a winner there. So had a little bit of a vibe on them last year. This year, not so
Yeah,
much right now. At least,
they're just so young. They're young, they're fun. They kind of had that we have nothing to lose thing. Kind of like the Phillies did 2 years ago. They were kind of this team like nobody expected to be good, and then obviously the Orioles had a lot better regular season than we did 2 years ago, but
you
they kind of just got in the playoffs and were like, we don't really have anything to lose. So they played some good baseball. They have a lot of young guys. They have a really big future. They have the number one farm system in baseball. The Orioles are going to be really good for a long time, which I think is good for baseball.
All right. And final question here. Once again, please tweet us all the time at Luke and I Phils or on Instagram as well. Of course, we got our social media accounts, personal accounts. So anytime a question comes to you, I'd love to get you involved with the pod. And let's talk about MVPs here. And I know we hit on this previous because those numbers just came out. Bryce Harper still holding steady at 10-1. Ronald Acuna for the NL plus 550. He's your leader. The AL over there, you have plus 550 as well. Aaron Judge, who was in the building for the Tampa Bay Bucks and Eagles game on Monday night. Soto 6-1, Yordan Alvarez 8-1, Corey Seager 10-1, rounding out there. Mookie Betts plus 650, Shohei Ohtani plus 650, and Fernando Tatis Jr. at 10-1 as far as that one is concerned. Now I bring this up because the MLB Network had a MLB Network's top 10 first baseman for 2024.
Well,
they had Freddie Freeman in front of him. If there's one guy that you're going to put in front of Bryce Harper,
that's
Freddie Freeman is Freddie Freeman. But Harper number 2, Olsen 3, Goldschmidt 4, Yandy Diaz 5, and then Pete Alonso 6.
They also put the top 10 second basemen out, and they completely just didn't put Ozzy Albies on the list. Just completely like forgot to put Albies. They didn't have Bryson Stott, and they completely forgot to put Ozzy Albies, who's probably a top 5 guy at that position in the entire MLB. But just completely forgot to put him on the list, which was those replies were really funny the other day. But
welcome to list season, bro. This
is
the time to go ahead and start putting the list together and get people talking and agreeing. And
usually disagreeing, but
exactly on that. Anyways, as far as Bryce Harper, National League MVP, why not? And a 10-1. Look, I prefer it to be 20-1. I prefer it to be anything more than 10-1 as far as higher, but 10-1, I think that's still a decent number to take a shot at, and especially comparing him to the other guys around him. Like, this is, would I prefer to get a better number on Bryce Harper, as I just said? Could I if I wait? Possibly. But there's also a chance that dude's so dialed in this year that he's just mashing, and he returns to the MVP form where he's not going to be injured and he's playing whatever amount of games he is at first base. Number could just continue to go down, dwindle. It's a good question. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, so Harper MVP is actually one of my big bets for futures. Nice. I think Harper's in a really good spot this offseason. I think it's his first year going into this first base position for the full season. He doesn't have to worry about playing the outfield every day. He doesn't have to worry about Tommy John surgery coming off of that. His arm is completely healthy. He's completely healthy. It's the first time he's been completely healthy opening day in a while. I think this is a season, unless some freak injury happens throughout the season, this is the time now where you're going to start to get Bryce Harper for close to 140, 150 games, which if you put Bryce Harper out there for 150 games, I'm going to have to assume he hits around at least 35 home runs. And if he does that, that usually puts him around a 280 average with around 100-something RBIs. That's going to put one of the faces of baseball in that running for MVP every single time. Granted, Ronald Acuna is going to have the edge because of the stolen bases. But any sort of down year for Acuna at the plate, which granted, it's going to be really hard to top what he did last year. Ronald Acuna had one of the best seasons we've ever seen last year. That usually doesn't happen twice in a row, right? So, I mean, last time Harper played over 140 games was the year he won MVP. He had a 1.044 OPS. He had 42 doubles. He had 35 home runs, 84 RBIs. He hit 309 on the season. I think this is a perfect scenario for Bryce to take home his third MVP, which is something not a lot of guys do, right? That is not something you see a lot in baseball. And I think this is the perfect time for Bryce to do this because Bryce is pissed off. I get it. Last year sucked and the year before that sucked, but there's not a player in that locker room who wants to hold that trophy up in the air more than Bryce. And I think now that he finally has the full season to be able to put his team in that position, I think this is the year for him. I truly do think this is the year that he gets his third MVP, which once again is just something you don't see in sports, really, right? I mean, we're sitting here calling for Embiid's MVP number 2 is something that would be incredible, right? Because you barely see 2 a lot in all of sports. If you have a guy that has won multiple Silver Sluggers, 3 MVPs, and is going to lead a lot of stats for your franchise, and possibly eventually gets a ring, right? That's top 25 baseball player of all time type of thing right there. And I think while Harper knows that in the back of his head, if there's one thing Harper wants, it's a championship. And he knows that him carrying this team throughout this regular season and not getting off to this horrible start in March, April, and May, I think that's big for this team this year.
Would be nice to have him right back in the hunt for an MVP because then it's just exactly what you said. The team success is there. And, the face of the franchise, the face of MLB, and everybody's talking about it. No, by the way, he's the best showman in the game. So we'll see how that one plays out. Again, 10-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, quickly, I want to bring this in because, here we are. We're talking about Blake Snell. We're talking about, big name guys that possibly are still out there, Bellinger, so on and so forth. MLB Network also has an article out that says 5 free agent starters who could be sneaky good ads. Michael Lorenzen on that page or on that post.
Good
of course,
luck.
Good
luck to whoever takes him. I love him. It was one of the best moments of the season, but good luck to whoever takes him for a whole year. It's just a lot of hits.
Ryu from the Orioles is an interesting name. Right? I mean, look, he was good for Baltimore. I know he got hurt, or Toronto, excuse me.
Yeah.
So it says the elephant in the room is his injury history, plural. In addition to surgery in 2022, he missed the entire 15-16 season. Since 17, he's only exceeded 100 innings in 3 of 7 seasons. He'll also turn 37.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I was going to say he's old.
That's why he's still available.
That's the risk. I mean, if he comes out and he stays healthy, then but banking on a 37-year-old lefty to be healthy for a full season and to give money like that is not something I'd really want to take. I can't believe Michael Lorenzen's on that list.
Carlos Carrasco is also on that list.
Even the guy at the bottom, you can get Carlos Carrasco as far away from me as possible. I don't need any bit of him on the Phillies right now.
No. Yeah, he's a bust all day, every day. Big time bust on that. All right. Excellent stuff. Episode 2, volume 2 edition here. Luke and I on the Phillies. Spring training right around the corner. And as I said it 100 times, I'll say it again. Got my trip to Clearwater booked. I'm ready to go. And
I need to go, man. I need to go.
I think it's the 11th. It's March 11th, and they're taking on the Yankees.
Live. I feel like they play the Yankees every single day in spring training.
It's going to be a World Series preview.
Ooh, is it now? Maybe.
Yankees aren't getting enough credit because they made trades, but I like what the Yankees have done so far this year.
Yeah, I mean they're always going to be right in the running. Last year was a down year.
We always say that about the Red Sox too, and they ain't going to be in the running this year, and they were in the running last year.
Yeah, the Red Sox stink. They're letting all their guys go. They're putting a bunch of guys on the block. Bad year for the Red Sox. Definitely a chance. If there's a year for the Yankees to do it, it's this year. With eventually Juan Soto becoming a free agent after this season. If there's a guaranteed year for them to go all in, it's 100% this season.
Baltimore would be interesting, as we talked about. You can get behind them, cheering them, enjoy them, not feel dirty. They're plus 750 to represent the American League, to win the NLE or AL East, as you said, plus 280. Now, what number did you get them at?
I saw them at 330,
Okay.
which was a little bit.
Yeah, plus 280 now on DraftKings, plus 140 for the Yankees to win the division. So anybody on that list other than the Yankees, I can get behind the Orioles, but man, it might be the Yankees' year to put it together. We've heard that one before. Again, just as far at top of the charts, you got the Astros plus 425, Yankees plus 450, Rangers plus 550, Orioles plus 750, Blue Jays plus 850.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, off of those odds, I don't know. I don't think the Rangers are going to come anywhere close to it again. They seem like a team that'll have a good regular season and then probably get bounced in the first round. I think Orioles, maybe. If I'm going to really buy all in on the Orioles, I might as well buy all in. But that Astros number, just, I don't know. Anytime the Astros don't do it the year before, it seems like taking their number the next year is the right play. It seems like the Astros are a team that if one year they don't find themselves there, the next year they just kind of walk themselves right back there. So I'd probably look at the favorite here in the Astros to win the American League. As far as the National League, the Cardinals even having top 5 odds are gross. That kind of just proves how bad the National League is.
I agree.
I mean, it's really going to come down to the Dodgers, Braves, and the Phillies, right? Diamondbacks aren't going back again. Cardinals aren't. The Mets stink. The Giants can't sign anybody. The Padres maybe, but
Say that every year too.
Exactly. You say that every year. I mean, the best number really right now is the Phillies. The Dodgers at plus 180 is kind of a boring number to get for something that is going to take a lot, right? At that plus 180. And then the Braves are at 320 right now. So, I mean, right now, in an unbiased way, with the Phillies being there plus 700, that's probably what I would look at right now.
All right. Luke Arcaini, this was fun. Glad we were able to get it in before we got snowed in for the next 3 years. Yeah. 4 to 8 inches, brother. Hopefully you're going to get some of that over there in Jersey.
I hope so. I
got to blow up a sled. I don't have a pump. I don't have I got a soccer ball pump with the sled. Yeah, this sled. Oh man, I'll be blowing this thing up all night. Yeah, it's gonna be a long night. Awesome stuff, Luke Arcaini. Be sure to give us a follow on all things socials. And we're going to be doing this a lot more consistently over the next few weeks, taking us right into spring training, having a lot more to talk about. And, of course, hitting the ground running come late March into April with all things regular season. Any final thoughts there before we get out of here?
Nothing really. Thanks, everyone, for the questions.
Yeah.
I like these mailbags. I like asking some questions. So
mailbag. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, everybody. We'll be sure to record your names next time. For Luke Arcaini, I'm Sean Brace. Everybody, stay safe. Take tomorrow off. Enjoy today. And good luck on your plays.